Hello!
Hi.
I'm back!
Yes.
From outer space!
Yeah, so Oliver's back and his lighting is insanely bright. Brighter than normal. So as it's custom when someone goes away, they buy the other person a gift when they go away. Now, I thought it was a bit unfair for Ollie to buy me the gift and me not to give him anything. So I decided, because he drinks it a lot, I got Red Bull for him. Alright, Ollie? Where's mine? Did you not give me anything? How much did you buy Julia? How many gifts did you buy Julia?
13.
And how many did you buy me? My lucky number's 13. You know my birthday's in 2 weeks?
I left something in Japan. I left something in Japan.
I'm drinking the Red Bull.
I left my box in Japan.
Yeah. Also your dignity.
Hello, welcome to NPCs of Wildemount. The bit was entirely accurate. I did just get back from Japan. Not quite accurate.
Literally the first time I've seen this since I got back.
Not quite accurate in the fact that I didn't get Dave anything.
Did you honestly give me something?
I did.
Oh, what?
This is from a little machine that is on every street.
I feel bad for drinking the Red Bull now.
It's alright.
You should have said something before we did the bit.
I've got Lift Plus. It's all good.
Okay.
So there's little vending machine things on every corner in every shopping mall. And
it's a Dragon Ball Z one.
It took me ages to find a Dragon Ball Z one. But when I saw it, I was really happy. And it's a lucky dip, so I don't know who you've gotten.
I've got, it looks like it is in Japanese. So, it looks like, I don't know who is it?
Gotenks?
No, maybe. It
seems to be a little keyring.
It's a keyring, and it's definitely not Goku. I think it's Goku. I think it's meant to be Goku.
It's supposed to be Goku. It doesn't quite. Yeah, it's probably made by some third party.
Yeah, well, thank you. Did not expect that.
I thought you could add it. What I really wanted to find was a Ninja Turtle comic in Japanese.
Oh, that would have been amazing.
But
they did make
they do manga.
They did do an Teenage Ninja Turtle manga. But this was years ago. They're back in the hype of Ninja Turtles. But.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So we're back to NPCs of Wildemount, myself, Oliver, Dungeon Master.
And Dave.
Yeah.
And it's episode 39, and Ollie's missed a bit, so...
I had no time in Japan to get... I did 5 hours a day walking minimum.
Filming in portrait.
Yeah. The second time was just to fuck with you.
Third time was to fuck with you. You did it. You did it
but I actually did it. I did a
by the end of it, the last week you got it right.
Yes. Hey, for me, like 3 lessons.
I know. Anyway, so I'm going to do a quick catch up for Ollie.
Because I've got no idea what happened last.
So we're going to quickly go through it, because obviously if you're watching this show, you're caught up with it. So basically, they stole a boat. Apparently. Called the Mist. They accidentally stole a boat. They kind of murdered everyone on board.
And I had no idea what Reddit was talking about when they were talking about the Mist. I thought it was like a fight of some kind.
No, it was the boat, and they renamed it the Mistake. And then they took the boat and they was going to find the person, because it was all about that gem. You remember the gem the Ford has inside of them?
I've been listening too much to Fight of Ison. I was just thinking Jim the Gem.
No. So remember that gem that's inside Ford?
Yeah.
So they were going to meet, because they found that contract with the Iron Shepherds.
Yes.
So they were going to meet that person.
Yes.
And that's kind of the meet up that they mass murdered it. And
because I left just before that.
Yeah. And Captain Ivanka was the one that was contracted to find the gem.
So that's why because they kept saying like, hey, random people with us, and having conversations with them, and I was like, who the fuck is that? Like, no idea.
So they ended up meeting up with Captain Ivanka, Vantika, I believe her name is.
Cool.
And she is also a follower of Ford's Patreon, Yukotoa.
Oh, okay, interesting. More hints that it could be. It seems like it is a deity.
So they kind of accidentally got recruited into Captain Vantika's crew.
Okay.
And now they're on this mission to find kind of Yukotoa's temple, and kind of where these dreams and this stone is kind of leading to. So that's why they're in the temple at the moment. Right,
because when I heard Matt say the word pyramid, I thought, sweet, dungeon crawl, and pyramid lands.
So it's not a pyramid above the land. It's kind of like a pyramid, the underground pyramid.
Okay, cool.
So they're kind of at the top at the moment, and they're kind of going down.
Because it totally lends itself to like puzzles and logic stuff.
And you see a lot in this episode. Yeah. And it's Yuan-ti. You know Yuan-ti? It's like humanoid snake creatures.
They're pretty cool, and in fact that does tie in with this week's crazy Reddit theory, which we will get to Unless you want to.
So that's about 4 weeks of a quick wrap up. Of all the shenanigans and basically the Mighty Nein bad guys now.
I honestly want to know, and I don't know if there's been discussion about this, if the murdering thing is a hint at the whole murdering thing,
the whole accidental slaughter.
Those people that
I think it's called manslaughter.
Yeah, that's when it's accidental.
Yeah,
but luckily you can get off that if you have a heavy mental health plea. Not that I know that from personal experience.
Get off that or get off that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was wondering, because I really early on thought that in the evidence that most of the players chose a complete polar opposite of their previous campaign character, the campaign itself would be the polar opposite and be an evil campaign.
I don't think they're going to be evil. I think they're accidentally neutral, chaotic.
So that's what I'm wondering, because like really early on I thought that's where it was going. I thought it was going to be an evil campaign, and then it turned out not to be, and then now they've killed a whole bunch of people. I thought maybe it is. I don't know.
No, I think that's just complete accident.
Okay.
I don't think they're intending, and I think they're going to try and get back on the right course. They're just not good at being good. Let's just say that.
It's a foible. I was thinking, actually no, that's more of a topic for the podcast. We'll do that on the podcast.
Okay.
Religion.
We talk about a lot on the podcast.
Oh, God. I was not there to defend myself. That was so unfair while I was in Japan doing that podcast.
Watch the podcast, listen to the podcast for more information on that.
Don't do that. So they're in a pyramid, they're going down some stairs, really cool trap activates.
Temple of Ukatawa. You have to whisper it, though. Ukatawa.
Do I have to whisper everything after that word?
No.
So just the stuff up to the word?
No, you just Okatawa.
Just that word?
Just Okatawa.
So I shouldn't be speaking in whispers now?
No.
Okay. I can't seem to stop. How do you speak loudly? Oh God, I'm freaking out.
So those guests...
Anyway, they basically...
Where are they?
They're all gone. I'm back. You have to...
Yeah, anyway. Yeah. So they're in the temple, and we kind of catch up with them around a fountain.
First, I just, as a DM, really love the slide downstairs. Stairs that turn into a ramp. I thought that was awesome. That's a miracle trap. I'm going to steal it.
Okay.
Just thought I'd say that.
Okay.
Hey, I'm back. It's fine.
You can steal off Matt Mercer again.
I do. My whole campaign is based around...
Tweet Ollie Mercer.
Fucking tweet me.
Do you see everyone else,
every single guest got tweet Jason, tweet Thomas. I've got a new plan, and it's going to be on Twitter. I'm going to do one thing to hassle Matt Mercer a day until he tweets me.
So you think the strategy is to annoy him?
Well, what I'm going to do, it's going to be called Notice Me Senpai. And it's going to be, that's the hashtag. And it's just going to be me doing things to get Matt Mercer to notice me. Like growing my hair out like his, wearing bracelets like him. It's all going to be on Twitter soon, so check that out.
Can you not? I've seen a photo of you growing your hair out. Can you not?
Do you know I saw a picture of myself once and I was like...
Wow, that's shocking. That's a twist.
I know, it blew my mind. I was like, that's me, but two-dimensional. I know. Holy crap.
But I'm here.
I can't figure it out. And then I fell down a flight of stairs. So essentially we go straight into roll initiative.
Oh, okay. Can we actually carry on now?
No, I want to talk more about my hair.
Anyway.
And it's the Yuan-ti people. Yuan-ti.
Yuan-ti? I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Yuan-ti.
They pronounce it a few different ways.
Yeah. But basically there's three hooded creatures around kind of a little fountain, plus a kind of a bigger, larger, naked grayscale kind of version of it.
So in typical dungeon crawl style, there's usually a couple of battles that early on will teach you a little bit about the enemies you're going to be facing. More or less, it's trying to get you down a little bit, maybe get you to use a few spell slots before the big bad, and then not too much challenge to get onto it.
Yeah, and this is kind of a classical.
You're doing it.
Yeah. Dungeon crawl, they're kind of going level by level, so we're not hitting the boss, but like the end feel like a bit of a boss, but it was kind of like we're going level by level.
Yeah. Which is great. It's a really cool way of dungeon crawl.
So it opens up with a battle of these three-headed Yuan-ti, and that's grey-scale large Yuan-ti, which is not technically a humanoid by this point. It's more of a fiend or a beast. It doesn't
aquatic something.
Either way, it couldn't be. What was a whole position? So a whole position failed because it wasn't humanoid.
Now, unfortunately, Caleb, when he found out about they were going to a pyramid, that kind of thing, he was thinking to himself enclosed spaces and all that, and didn't prepare the spell Fireball. As a wizard, you know, you've got to prepare the spells that you think you're going to use and will be most useful. He thought, you know, in close quarters, that's not going to work well. I'll immolate the party. It turns out there are actually some larger rooms in this pyramid. Unfortunately, he doesn't have one of the most powerful attack spells in his arsenal, but still does pretty well.
And when we get to that final kind of beast that we're fighting at the end of the episode, it would have been very useful because it was the only way to stop.
Very useful.
Yeah, very useful.
So essentially we've got Bo. Now she's, I think a lot of people mentioned this on Twitter Twitter and stuff, you should be using more Stunning Strike. She is. She's using it almost every time.
But Bo gets hurt a lot during this opening battle. I put Bo gets punished.
I put Bo takes 22 points of Psy damage, and then I didn't finish the thing because I wrote Psy, and then I thought of Gangnam Style.
You've been in Japan too long. That's a Korean song as well. Anyway, yeah, Bo gets hurt, but Bo's having a rough time recently because Bo gets poisoned a lot, gets bitten by... Like, Bo... Is Bo the tank?
I think Bo is the tank.
But you think Yasha would be the tank.
Yeah.
But I think it's more Bo.
Well, Yasha's not here. We've got Travis playing Yasha.
Yeah, Yasha gets the How You Want to Do This
Twice.
as well. We should mention that. Twice. Once here and then at the end. But Yasha plays... Seems Yasha does a lot more when Ashley's not there.
But no, I would say it's fair to agree that Bo probably is the tank, if not primary tank, second tank.
Off tank, I believe the term is. Off tank.
Look at me.
Yeah,
by the way,
if you
know World of Warcraft, you'll know that currently if you buy 180 days of game time, I fucked up that sentence twice. If you buy 180 days of game time, you also get a free Dread Wake mount.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Anyway. They kind of go through this battle, and as we said, Yasha gets the How You Want to Do This. And it's a fairly straightforward battle, but the only thing I know, Bo gets punished pretty hard. And Captain Yavantika is there as well, and Stealth and comes out and fights as well. So it looks like Captain Yavantica's been tailing along with them during this whole time.
Now, one thing that I was considering with Mighty Nein and wondering about was the two clerics kind of thing. Because most of the time, party has one dedicated healer and maybe a druid or something that can do a bit of lay on hands or whatever it may be, guiding bolt or whatever.
Off-heal. Sure. Is that a thing?
It is now.
Yeah, off-healer, yeah.
So I think it's actually really cool, a really, really powerful thing to have two decent healers, even though one's also kind of multi-class and a bit of a fighter, because when they have a single tank, or at least, you know, a high damage, low HP monsters, you really sometimes do need to bring a lot of hit points back for a success in the party against the monster.
It feels like, though, Caleb, Mr. Clay is definitely the healer, the primary healer here.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like Jester's really figured out what kind of cleric she's going to be.
Yeah. No,
I mean, I didn't see the intention of being like a battle cleric-esque, but it doesn't feel kind of like she gets it yet. If that makes sense.
I've never thought of us like this before, Dave, but having this conversation... Sorry, that's a weird way to start into that sentence. But
has a month really made you kind of like think about your emotions here? Don't touch me.
I'm weirdly picturing us as sports commentators. Doesn't it sound like we're almost commentating on some kind of sports event?
Well, that's what the whole channel is, NPCs of Wildemount. We're just non-playable characters talking about, like,
I feel like we should have, like, headphones and, like, a thing. That was a great play. I don't think anyone expected to see a fireball there, but it really changed the game, and we're looking at Mighty Nein. Obviously, their training's picked up quite well. Now to the sports, now to the weather.
I miss Jason.
Or not Ollie, as you guys referred to him.
Yeah.
So we also get not get hits with... I can't talk. Not get hits with... Not get hits
with?
I can't do it.
I'm enjoying this. I've been trying to hold the show for like 4 weeks here. I've just guessed ones. I'm happy with you taking the reins of not doing it right.
Not gets hit with a nat 20. That's what I was trying to say. And a rogue, not hugely on the hit.
But let's finish that first battle there. They managed to capture one as well, an interrogator, due to Ford's intimidation.
Yep.
But he ends up killing himself. So.
Now,
that happened.
This is another kind of almost trope of Dungeons and Dragons when the DM has a party member, an evil person captured and wasn't intending that, and they start asking or use Zone of Truth or something, and the DM is like, "Oh my god, you're not supposed to know any of this right now."
Yeah, you could definitely tell Matt was being kind of like not trying to reveal too much because he had all like the puzzle that we had on the second floor with the orchard and all that underneath it. It felt like if it was all dwelled out right now, it'd be too easy.
But, however, I do kind of think there should have been a bit of information given up, a little bit more, because they did roll really high on their intimidation. They didn't manage to capture him, and I just feel like there had to be some kind of reward for them thinking like that or something. Otherwise, they might not do it in the future.
Yeah, that was the tricky thing. I think Matt had a balance of like...
Can't give this information.
He can't give the information, and he couldn't really give them anything else.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty much that. It was a minion. And the minion didn't have really anything else to give other than information, and you didn't want to give that information. So.
As DMs out there, if you're watching this and you're a DM, it's just worth to note, if you were to constantly do that and just have people kill themselves every time there was like information you couldn't give, your party will stop doing it, and it kind of takes that part of the fun away.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a challenge for the players, but also needs to be a challenge for the DM of being thrown off the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go.
They also discuss now at this point a short rest. They've lost. They want the hit dice, and they want to recuperate. And Bo
kind of just goes to sleep on the corner. But they figure out with the fountain that there's some slots missing in some of their serpent eyes, and Not has some rubies that she found previously on a couple of episodes ago, which she realizes to put them in the slots. It actually opens the fountain to kind of a stairway kind of thing. There's a bit of a drop, but a little stairway down to an orchard.
Yeah. Which is weird because there's no sunlight, and Matt notes that, and the party know that. They kind of think, okay, there's some kind of arcane or religious some kind of thing going on here. Not. Decides that she's just going to eat some of the fruit.
Yeah.
In a magical
And then they start getting higher, which they do. But it's also worth noting the information they did get from the Yuan-ti that they captured is that the temple is kind of being a makeshift temple because it was a false god previously, which probably was Akatoa.
Yes.
And it's for Zephyr. It was an evil god of poison and that's who they actually
So the temple's actually been remade.
Yeah.
Had an initial purpose and then remodeled.
We should make that clear because that's going to probably become important.
Yeah. Basically, they got queer after the straight guy in, and they said these curtains don't work, and they kind of just worked it around. The new series is out on Netflix. Go check it out. Season 2. Anyway, so basically Jester wants to milk the snake creature for poison, which is interesting. Unfortunately, doesn't have really like a herbalism kit or a medicine kit or anything she can do that with.
Yeah, she does that.
So tries to roll enough, like a nat 20, but yeah.
But anyway, let's get high at the orchard. So they all go down to the orchard, they find all this fruit. People are a bit hesitant because they think it's all come out of blood, which they kind of are right when they find out later on.
Yep.
But basically they eat it, Not eats it, and then gets really high. Then Caleb eats it and gets really high.
Because Not can now is the only one that can see the words on the wall, which are the clues and the hints for the next puzzle.
So Matt deliberately put something so one of the players would get high.
Yeah,
I hope you realise that.
And it seemed to me like it was probably DMT. Or maybe PCP, but we won't go into that. So
I didn't think it needed to be defined, Ollie, but alright.
Caleb is the only one that has comprehend languages, however, so he needs to get high as well.
Yeah. So basically it's a puzzle.
Yeah.
There's 4 tablets. They all have a bit of some runic there. That's why when Not initially eats the fruit, she sees runics here. Now that's why Caleb has to eat the fruit, because Caleb will actually understand it.
Yep. And remember, if you are a DM and you want to create some cool stuff for your party, interesting things to do are food or something else that will alter a stat or give you a bonus for a short time along with a penalty. Like I have Dreamleaf, that if you smoke Dreamleaf, your wisdom goes up and your intelligence goes way down for an hour. It's just a nice way of being able to alter your stats, not permanently.
So it turns out to be a bit of the story of the tablet. So to put it in order instead of finding it the way they found it, it starts with the sacrifice feeds the fountain.
Yep.
So it means they probably kill someone, which puts the blood into the fountain.
Yep.
The fountain feeds the garden.
Yep.
So the blood would obviously trickle down to the garden. The garden will absorb it.
The orchard.
The garden feeds the warden,
which we don't know who that is at this point.
At this point, we don't. A lot of people thought it was parts to do with the vines, but we find out later on it's the Hydra downstairs.
Yep.
And then the false serpent. I miswrote this one, but it said like the warden guards the false serpent.
Yeah. So we actually are thinking that the end battle here that we had right after this moment was the warden, and there's potentially another creature beyond that.
Matt says it's the warden as well.
Yeah.
So we definitely know the Hydra is the warden. So probably in the next battle after, we're probably going to get either an imprisoned being.
Yeah, or some kind of even bigger bad, which is a trouble because they expended quite a few spell slots in the second fight.
Exactly. So the vines attack Not and Caleb, because apparently the vines actually attack whoever eats the fruit.
Yep.
They manage to beat off the vines, and basically they figure out the puzzle and they kind of move on.
Yeah, exactly. They get into the next room and roll initiative 2. So essentially, a whole lot of stuff goes down. Not does at one point fall and start making death saves, but Clay uses Spear the Dying. Oh my god, that's the most useful thing ever.
There's those Yuan-ti dogs again that we met a couple of episodes ago that were dragging off Bo.
Yep.
I call them Yuan-ti dogs. I don't actually know the specific name for them.
We also had Not roll a 28 perception. Holy mother of crap, that's high, is what I wrote.
Saw a Vax in the corner. And they're actually very smart about this Mighty Nein, because they're able to go to the chamber and not be seen straight away.
Yeah.
And then they're able to do a surprise attack on the initial being that they saw.
Yeah.
But then later on it's revealed that the Hydra is there as well. So
Yeah.
they didn't see that initially, and that's when all chaotic.
Really cool thing they did, which was when, they sneak in, they come back, they strategize, but their strategy was really interesting because it was like, okay, who has the sneak and the ability to do a ton of damage off the bat?
Yeah.
Jester kind of says, well, I could sneak in and do inflict wounds, that does like 8 to 10, something like that, and that's pretty high. And Jester kind of think we could do Fluffernutter, which is a tactic they've come up with, throw a barreled keg full of gunpowder and shoot it with a flaming crossbow
they
bolt.
got gunpowder on the boat.
I was wondering where they got that from.
Yeah.
They just seemed to have it, and I was like, all right.
Yeah.
And,
that happens.
And unfortunately, Caleb doesn't have Fireball, otherwise that would be the perfect moment for that stuff.
Now, just with any Hydra, because I've seen Hercules there and made a movie.
Yeah, and I've watched some very disturbing pornography.
Also, you went to Japan. When you cut off the head, 2 heads grow, unless it's burnt.
Yeah,
so that's why it would have been very important for Caleb to have those fire spells on him to like seal up those heads so they don't grow back. But that was the problem they were having. And it gains about 8 hit points for every head that comes back, so they have to do quite a lot of damage. You basically have to do more damage than it's regaining. So it actually would have been a very hard one, but I feel like they brought it down fairly comfortably.
Yep.
Death saves,
because
but
it's probably not the biggest ad in this play.
Hydra could have really messed you up.
It's like vampires in 5th Ed. You play a vampire, they get healed if they're not in direct sunlight by a lot every round.
Not kills the abomination, which is that little headless dog thingy. And Yasha.
Sorry, no, I got excited. You continue.
But also, I actually want to cut to the clip. Because we still do that here.
Okay, that's a thing still.
I have to figure out which clip I wanted to do, because I wrote it down, because I'm really smart, but you know what the funny thing is? Can't remember where I put it.
Cool. So I'll say that Caleb...
I cut to the clip of the Fluffernutter. Fluffernutter?
Fluffernutter, yeah.
Fluffernutter.
It's a type of chocolate, I think.
Well, not in this clip.
Everyone back up! We're gonna fluff another this bitch! And I will and hold my action.
With your explosive bolt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'm waiting for a keg to be thrown.
There we go.
Yeah, no, Fluffernutter, that's the Fluffernutter.
Yeah.
Is that it's not a thing we have in New Zealand. What is a Fluffernutter?
I don't know.
Can someone...
I'm assuming it's something like...
It sounds like a chocolate.
Well, their thing is like an explosion.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it's a sexual thing. Just throwing it out there. Could be an explosion of a...
Okay, we're not going to go down that path any longer, and I already regret asking the question.
Hey,
so
you went to Japan. I'm sure that this is real tame compared to that.
Yes. So essentially, Caleb uses a wonderful use of slow, because slow has this wonderful thing. Not only does it affect your walking speed and this and that, it means you can't multi-attack. You can only take one attack, which is huge. Because multi-attack is one of the most, like, I'm going to screw my party over, destroy TPK things that a monster can do.
Yeah.
So perfect use of slow by Caleb.
Yeah, I think Caleb's come into his own when it comes to that. Well, let's call the MVP now.
Yep.
I'm calling the MVP Caleb.
I'm going to say not.
Why Caleb? Why not? And because the 2 people that got high, coincidentally. But why not? And I'll say why Caleb.
Mainly because not had me laughing my ass off the entire time. And the Fluffernutter thing would have worked had it worked.
I think Caleb the MVP because I think they would have won. They won that battle because of Caleb.
Okay, that's fair. I will point out that
Most valuable player.
A wizard in 5th Ed is high risk, high reward. Your high level spells, if they don't hit, you've expended the spell slot and you can't do it. But in certain circumstances, and if you prepare the right ones, they can be a force to be reckoned with. So it's a really tricky class to play.
And also, I found it quite interesting, the dynamic between Liam and Matt when it comes to the rules. It feels like Liam's questioning more about the rules going forward.
Oh my god.
Which I approve of, because
It's cool,
it feels
but
like the players need to understand the game just as much as the DM.
It's just you didn't have to wade through 30 pages of Reddit discussing the rules of that moment.
No, because I stay off Reddit for a reason.
I had to find the crazy Reddit theory.
But I think it's good because those conversations don't really happen outside a game, and if you have them in game, at least you can have a proper discussion about it without people hating each other.
And a lot of the time, it's like Magic the Gathering or Unstable Unicorns. Sometimes you just have it's wording of a spell, or it's like interpretation.
D&D is a lot about interpretation when it comes to the rules,
especially when like for example in this one, a lot of times they'd say I do this, and Matt goes, oh, but just so you know, because of this effect, that wouldn't work, or you've already done, and they go, oh, okay, I won't do that. Yeah. That's the way to do it as a DM. I think saying no, you've already said it. Is
I think there has to be a balance of it. Like you can't say do something that's like, oh no, wait, I wasn't meant to do this.
Yeah,
you can't wind that back.
I think saying something like I want to use this, and then he's like, but he's immune to that, and you know that. It's like, oh, okay, cool. I mean, it's a grey area, but
yeah, because like you get into like there has been many moments going back to Caleb as well. Of Liam going, Caleb would remember this, but me as Liam doesn't.
Like his keen mind feat.
Yeah, and it's like that balance you have to kind of have. Because I remember there was a scenario, I think we were playing a game.
Yeah.
And I know Stefan would have remembered something, but I didn't remember something. And because I didn't remember it, you're like, no, you can't. And I was just like, oh, but I'm pretty sure Stefan would have remembered it. I just don't remember it right now. Like I think it was my sister's name or something like that.
I can't remember.
I can't remember at the time, but that's kind of you have to.
It's that sort of thing.
You have to take away have the player and the character, because the character can be a lot smarter than the player.
Well, see, after the discussion of Liam and Matt about the rules, Liam kind of jokes, "No, nobody's allowed to learn at this table," and it's true. Look, D&D has 3 rulebook things that are this big. You know, you
can't know everything.
No, and it's always a good thing to resolve conflict openly with discussion.
Exactly. And Yasha gets to how you want to do this. The second one in the game.
She's not there.
I think it helps the fact that the person playing Yasha has played a barbarian for a lot of games.
Right before that happens, something I did not know, but something that's amazing, is Laura, or Larura, as I wrote.
Larura?
Larura.
Oh, you did not spell Laura right.
Not even close. Remembers a
No, it was close.
Close,
you just added an A.
Larura.
Yeah.
Larura is actually not a bad name. I might name an NPC Larura.
There you go.
She, if she has her duplicate right next to her, attacks have disadvantage because they don't know which one's which. I didn't know that was a thing with duplicate. How good is duplicate?
There was a discussion about duplicate as well. The fact of, because they've never enforced this before, is the fact of apparently it has to always be in the site, like Yasha's site. Oh, not Yasha, sorry, Jester's site. And there was a bit of confusion on whether that was actually right, because they wanted the duplicate to go around the corner, but apparently it had to be. I don't know what the final decision was, but I know for the moment they let it slide, but I don't know what the official rule is.
It'll be on the D&D wiki.
Yeah, it will be.
So I'd like to get to the crazy.
And if Vantigo approves of that and kind of officially welcomes them to be part of the crew.
She was a bit standoffish. Well, the party tried to make her go in front. And she's like, dude, I'm a captain. That's the most dangerous plan.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're her crew. In her eyes, they're her crew.
That was fair, I thought.
Yeah.
So crazy Reddit theory. It's great. It's great because the first comment is this is my theory, and the next 5 comments are nope.
You're going well on your first episode back, Ollie. You're going well with because we haven't had a crazy Reddit theory for a long time.
Yeah, I realise I've cut off the name of the person who
well, it will be on the screen because Ollie will send it to me because he's just told me he would.
Definitely not going to forget that. So
definitely not.
Has anyone considered the possibility that Ford is not truly a half-orc? He has green skin, files down his fangs, and has dodged multiple questions regarding his accent being faked, and has the ability to swallow things whole, full stop. I'm starting to think that Ford might actually be a Yuan-ti, but everyone perceives him as a half-orc due to the similarities.
A Yuan-ti? A Yuan-ti.
Yuan-ti.
Yuan-ti. Oh, a half lizard. I'm pretty sure you would know if he was half lizard.
I'm tinfoil batting this theory, but wow, that would be a huge twist. It would, because it makes no sense. But sure, the next comment is, he's used the half-orc racial trait. And then the next comment is, when is that? I don't recall. When they took the mist? He's used it a bunch of times. Given that he also hasn't used any of the Yuan-ti's innate spellcasting or magical resistance, I'd say he most definitely is a half-orc. It happened during the troll fight in Labenda Swamp. Ford went down like 3 times because of the acid poison damage in a single round of comment. When he reached 0 points, he used the relentless endurance racial trait. And then the original poster did not comment anything again.
Well, that was definitely from Reddit. That was definitely from Reddit.
Theory.
Yeah. I think it is crazy. Yeah, come on. I mean, there'll be some kind of like racial trait.
Yeah. Also, just saying.
And plus, Yuan-ti have fangs.
And being like, that's such a twist. It's like, so would. Hey, it turns out Matt is actually 3 spiders in a suit.
turns out, Not is actually a furlong.
The Mighty Nein are actually badgers enchanted.
The Mighty Nein are actually Vox Machina, but they just lost their memory.
Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't it be amazing if the Statue of Liberty was actually a transformer waiting for the Battle of the Gods to reach the mortal realm, and then it would come to life and stomp America?
Stomp America?
Hashtag Stomp America.
Wow. Anyway, that's it.
Yeah.
But we didn't come up with YouTube comments, but I do.
we didn't come up with YouTube.
But I have brought it up while Ollie was reading out that because I realised while we're doing this. So I've got one. So this should make you feel better. Okay. Alright, this is from Josh Mitchin.
Hey Josh, how's it going? You're awesome and I love you. Give me your phone number.
Says it. Whoa. Julia not putting out anymore, right? Anyway, Josh says, I like... Wait, what are you doing?
I was trying to find a comment.
I'm trying to read a comment.
I had to hear your voice twice.
Anyway, Josh says, I like the trend... Oh, sorry, the phone just went weird. I like the trend of Ollies from around the multiverse, but no one can replace OG Ollie.
Ah, you called me an OG.
Well, you are the original Ollie. I mean, we have
fleek.
We have Turtle Ollie.
Yeah.
Turtle Ollie is just
what is on fleek, by the way? People keep saying that.
It means like on point.
Because I thought it had something to do with eyelashes.
It does. Oh. Like your eyelashes on fleek, so it's on point. Yeah. Don't ask me how I know that. I'm 30. And I know that for some reason.
Is weird.
Josh Omi says, I'm glad this wasn't your last episode because these recap reviews are one of the most favourite things on YouTube. I had a freak out while you were gone in the YouTube section.
That's alright.
I do not do a high stress job and comment and respond to comments on YouTube. They don't go down well, and I do apologise. I've said it before in the last episode, and I am sorry about that freak out. I just had a bad day. And
I'd also like to point out a couple of people mentioned that the cats were Kamadan. From Tomb of Annihilation, which is a wonderful D&D 5th ed preaching campaign. FYI, the newest campaign, newest preaching campaign is now out for 5th ed. I know this because we sell it at my work.
And the last comment we'll do is from Brewery 1. We're doing a lot more comments than normal, but only because we're kind of improvising this comment thing because we didn't have anything prepared. He says, you know, considering, because this is a response of how they snuck through the town in the last episode, because they had to rush to the temple.
That bit.
He said, you know, considering how they were trying to go through the town, I'm impressed with how well they handled themselves. They were fairly restrained in what they were doing until they couldn't afford to restrain themselves anymore. If not for the poor perception checks, they may have avoided killing more of them than they probably wanted to, but considering what the Yuan-ti were doing, they kind of forfeited their lives. Yeah, so they did a very well job kind of sneaking through and killing when they absolutely had to instead of just murdering people for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Of sake of sneaking through. So, good job, Mighty Nein. You still kill people, but it was you know, it was alright.
Yeah, no, it was an interesting episode this week, and next week there is no Critical Role. It's a one-shot by Laura, and then they return the week after.
But how about we do this, because I haven't discussed with you, so you can say no.
Sure.
How about we, because there's a lot of one-shots out there that we haven't done.
Yeah.
We still haven't done the Honey Heist 2. There's a lot of other one-shots we've done. So, we're going to leave it up to you guys out there to decide what you want us to do. So, we could either do, carry on with our NPCs of Tal'Dorei, of doing episode, I think it's 12 at this point.
Of the original Vox
campaign. Or a one-shot of whatever choice you want. So, leave a comment down below what you guys want to do, whether you want us to review the next one-shot, which is Laura's one, or one shot from the past. Pretty much if you throw it out there, we'll see what one's the most popular and kind of go with that, because we'll do something different.
Yeah, and democracy.
Yeah, or if no one comment or suggest, we'll probably just do the one shot that Laura's doing.
Yeah, sure.
So if all else fails, we'll do something.
we'll probably sit and make oranges out of hats, and that's all we can do. Really.
Oranges out of hats? They're not going to be very big hats.
All good oranges. Anyway,
good oranges.
Thank you for your comments, guys. Yeah. If you want us to read out your comments on the next NPCs of Wildemount, then you have to comment on this video with some banal craziness or something that entertains
Don't
us.
make it too long. We're also getting prepared for our next NPCs podcast, because where we take your longer comments, read them out, analyze them, talk about our theories in a more long form. Just it replaces an episode of our podcast that we do. So that hopefully is going to happen in the next month or so. I haven't talked to Ollie about it, but I know we talked about it before you left, so I figured we should do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's cool to be back. Japan was a crazy wicked time, and we'll probably talk about it more on the podcast if you want to hear about that, or hit me up on the Discord or something.
And look at the shirt real quick. More on that later. I don't. It's all reversed and stuff.
Yeah, but that's only on the camera. It'll be...
But if you want to support us, subscribe to the channel, go to our Patreon, chuck us a bucket.
For those of you who don't know, Bill F. Stevens is a follower of the channel.
Yeah.
He's one of our Patreons, and I thought, hey, you're a Patreon. I don't have a shirt made with your name on it, and wear it all the time, so I'm going to.
There you go. But thank you all for supporting the channel and other content, and I guess until next week.
Yeah. And we've been talking about a new Let's Play that I'm really excited about. So keep an eye on our Let's Plays.
Thanks to one commenter out there from our last video, coincidentally, of NPCs. They suggested it.
You're a genius.
We will read out the comment when we do it. But the more I think about it, the more I think it's a wicked idea.
I'm 100% behind that idea. So thank you guys for your comments about that. Remember to hit us up on the emails and stuff, which is all down there if you want to chat to us, because we love chatting to critters around the world. And until next time, have a good afternoon, morning,
We've been wrapping this up for a while.
I know.
Yeah.
Just fuck off.
I like the fucking t-shirt. I've only just noticed the t-shirt.
I had this made on Vistaprint.
Oh, when he actually
did it, and then he took it back.
Yeah. Anyway.
I wasn't sure if you'd noticed until you edited it.
We should do the thank you video.
Yes, we can do that.
Do you want to do that after?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.